Follow San Diego's Talk Radio 760 now for Love Real Estate Radio. Hosted by Sandra Love, it's 1 hour of up-to-date real estate info for home buyers. Get the facts for a better life and love real estate on 760 KFNB.
Welcome back. You're listening to 760 Love Real Estate. I am your host, Sandra Love. If you just joined us, we've been talking to Deja Correa with San Diego Funding about buying your home with a VA loan, no money down, and getting back into the market after a short sale. So give us a call, 888-571-9595, 888-571-9595. Deja, let's go ahead and talk to our fabulous tax attorney, Doug Jennings.
Hi, Doug.
Hey,
Hello.
Deja, how are you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm always great.
Oh, so glad to have you today. So many questions.
I know. I have lots of questions for him, too. But first, let me tell you guys a little bit about him. Doug Jennings Jr., actually, is considered by many to be San Diego's #1 tax attorney and one of the best in the nation. Uncle Doug, as he's called by many, leads his firm with a faith-based approach, genuine warmth, and a deep concern for everyone he meets. Now, upon graduating from the University of Southern California with a major in accounting, Mr. Jennings was employed by a trust division of Union Bank as a trust tax specialist while he attended the University of San Diego School of Law. Now, upon receipt of his Juris Doctorate degree, he then joined, is it Pete, Marwick, Mitchell and Company? Is that?
It is. It's now KPMG, the world's largest CPA firm.
I think I'll say KPMJ. Is that okay?
Let me just interrupt you and tell you that it was very nice of my mother to write that introduction for you.
Well, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself? You know, I know that you're from San Diego.
Yes.
And tell us about your firm.
I always wanted to be a professional baseball player. The Boston Red Sox were interested in me, but I wasn't any good, so I had to do something else. So I went to USC. I did major in accounting. I then came to San Diego to go to law school. My parents are very wealthy, but they're mean, and they made me work my way through. So they wouldn't give me any money to date or to have fun with Deja or things like that. I worked my way through as a trust tax specialist, doing nothing but wills and trusts, and not because I'm bright. I'm a baseball player, but I graduated #1 in my class in trusts and taxation, which founded the focus of my profession. I then passed the bar, but I went to work as a CPA, not as a lawyer. Then doing individual taxes, corporate, partnership, a lot of tax work. I then had the pleasure of working as a law clerk to the Commissioner of the Internal Revenue Service. You've heard of those guys?
I've heard of those guys. So it sounds like tax and taxation has been your passion.
It is my passion. It is my focus. Our law firm is the only law firm I know in the whole United States that's a law firm and a CPA firm combined. So not only can we help people with their legal estate planning, real estate. Oh, my wife, I've got to tell you about her.
You have to tell me about her and Century 21.
Yeah, my wife, she graduated from Chula Vista High and didn't even go to college. All she did was get a real estate license at 17, her broker's license at 19.
Oh, my goodness.
And at 21, she founded the very first franchise of Century 21 and grew it into 3 or 4 franchises with about 135 agents working for her. The only reason she married me, this is true, is to get free legal advice and to keep her taxes down.
I knew that was coming.
Smart woman.
I know, right? I know. Well, you know what? I would like to ask you about estate planning because I think that's something so important with real estate agents and just being better prepared. So, you know, I would say that estate planning, Deja, don't you think would be for everyone? So it's not just for retired people, although people do tend to think about it more often than not, or maybe even more as you get older, I think. You know, the older you get, the more you start thinking about it. But unfortunately, we can't successfully predict how long we're going to live or what's going to happen. So better to be prepared, I would say. Don't you think, Mr. Jennings?
Absolutely. But I was having fun listening to Deja earlier, helping people get into their first home or a new home, as the case may be. Do you know that 97% of husband and wives in the United States hold title to their home as husband and wife as joint tenants? I have 3 words for them: stupid, stupid, stupid.
Oh, man, those are strong words. Well, how do they correct that?
They correct it, hopefully, by going to a competent lawyer and creating a revocable living trust. If they do not have a revocable living trust, and many lawyers create living trusts for people, and then they don't register the property into the trust. Stupid, stupid, stupid. So consequently, unfortunately, many people either become incapacitated or die holding title either as joint tenants or with just a simple will. And what they should have is a revocable living trust, and the husband and wife can be their own co-trustees, and they will get so many benefits. If you want me to tell you about them, I can do that.
We would love for you, everybody to call and find out, because I think more often than not, Deja, that we see that a lot, where we're doing loan docs, right? And you ask them, how do you want the deed to read, the trust to read? And more often
and they ask
than
me,
not,
how do I take title? And I say, you need to contact a real estate
and that's
tax
exactly
professional.
what the California Board of Realtors requires you to say, because a loan officer or a real estate broker, such as my wife, they're not allowed legally to counsel people legally. So therefore, you should go to a lawyer. Our office always works for the clients. They may come in on a complimentary basis, tell us what their situation is, and we will always follow it up with a letter, also complimentary. But the first thing I do for all people, and you don't have to be married, if you're 18 years of age or older, you should have a living trust. It's the only way known to the law that you'll avoid probate when you die, get rid of lawyers and courts and inconvenience. It'll avoid conservatorships if you are injured, and it will eliminate all taxes when the first spouse dies. If you're single, then we have just raised the unified credit to $5,250,000. So anybody with $5,250,000 or less, there's no reason to have any cost of dying or being incapacitated.
Well, can you explain to us and for our listeners, what is the difference between a will and a living trust?
I have written books on the subject. I have had the opportunity to lecture for years to the California Bar Association, State Board of Realtors. Next week, I'll be at the Hearst Castle speaking to all the real estate. I love the Hearst Castle.
As an architect, I just go and I ooh and ah over that. It's amazing.
I know
design.
that Nikki's going to be speaking in a while, and she probably designed it, but she's too young for it. But in any event, a will versus a trust. First of all, every listener today has an estate plan, but some people have done nothing. Doing nothing is actually a choice. It's a very bad choice. You're getting no benefits. If you have a will, that's what I call death instructions. If you were driving home today and all you had was a will and you were injured in an accident, you were not killed, you were just mangled, you're in the hospital, then the question is, who's in charge of your health care? Who's in charge of your money? Do you know who it is? No, because you would have to have a lawyer take you to court, talk to Judge Boswick, and have the judge appoint that person for you. But if you have a living trust, it's your living and your death instructions. It works for you every single day, and it's like the Boy Scout motto, be prepared. So we name your first, second, third choice of who's in charge of your health care, first, second, third choice of who's in charge of your finances, and you need to take advantage and take the initiative of the opportunities that are waiting for you by a living trust.
All right, you guys, we have an expert here in studio today. You want to get in touch with him, we can absolutely put you in touch with Mr. Jennings. Call us right now at 888-571-9595. 888-571-9595. I have another question for you. Probate. That's something that you slightly touched on, but it's so important can you define probate and what happens if you do nothing?
If a person does nothing, or they have joint tenancy, which does avoid probate at the first death, but not the second, or a last will and testament, all of these administrations have to be administered by the San Diego Superior Court Probate Division. It is a way for the court to confirm and to supervise, to make certain that a person who has died, the decedent, that their assets do in fact pass to their rightful heir.
You want to make sure that you have everything in order, right, Deja? And one of the things that Deja and I have said in before, your famous quote, you need to know where you are in order to get where you want to be. I probably chopped it up a little bit, right?
No, that's right. And, actually, I sat down with a first-time home buyer earlier this week, and I said, give me your plan for he's getting married. And I said, give me your plan for the future. What does this property mean in 5-10 years? And let's work backwards. And it was a perfect conversation, and I think probably some that you have.
What I would like to do is tell your listeners that when Deja finishes and then you close that escrow, we can help them keep their taxes down in our firm. And for free, we take their deed and put it into the living trust for them. We're so foolish. We even pay the filing fees for them for free.
Well, I don't want you to be foolish. You're not. You're
complimentary.
Yes, and all you guys have to do is give us a call. I think that you should probably be at our May 22nd event and have somebody talk about trust and planning and just give you guys all of the tools, because Deja is going to be there talking about loans and purchasing and getting you guys back into the market. Why not have, the Jennings Law Group there to be able to help you guys with all of those questions, because I know that you guys have lots of questions. So write this number down. 888-571-9595, 888-571-9595. We'll be right back. More to come.
And Love Real Estate on 760 KFMB.